out the window?
I just saw the cutest little boy being walked by being walked by his granny.
We're about to start recording and you just look out the window and go, oh.
He was just so small and he's wearing like tiny little man's clothes. Oh. I just can't. When they dress them in like grown-up clothes, they're little, I'm just like,
it's so cute. I can't wait to dress a kid. It should be illegal.
How cute.
Hey, babe.
Fuck knows what your children are going to be dressed in.
My children are going to be dressed in whatever
to the nines.
Their whimsy.
I feel like mine would too. If they were like, do you want fairy wings? If they were like, I want to wear fairy wings today, I'd be like, sounds great, do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I dressed when I was little. At my school, you could wear whatever you wanted, and kids would literally wear fairy wings.
So here I am in my cottagerie. Here you are in your bedroomery.
Oh, yes, your cottage, your cottagerie in the countryside. How's it going?
So good. I don't want to leave, Lucy. I'm meant to leave tomorrow, and I'm just like, I can't.
Well, you'll be back. You just have to nip into the city for a little event, and then you'll be back.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if this lady will let me live in her cottage for a while.
The renter that won't leave.
It's like, hey, I saw that you booked at the weekend, but after that you're not booked. So I was wondering.
Yeah. You should stay on.
I think she'll say yes. I love it. I'm in my element. I'm looking out the window right now at like higgledy-piggledy roofs and old shop signs on buildings that are now houses and gorgeous little tiny men being walked by their granny down the road. Love it.
Heaven. Have you been enjoying cups?
Sucks for you.
Yeah. Have you been enjoying cups of tea and good meals?
So much. All I've been doing is having a nice fire, drinking tea, drinking wine, going for walks. Wow. It's been heavenly.
Have you been journaling?
Every day,
Yeah.
We got some new ink yesterday, which was thrilling. Ooh. I love buying new ink for my fountain pen.
Oh,
and I started a new journal. The dog ate this one and I got red wine on it. And it's finished. So now I'm moving on to this pink one, which I love starting a new journal because I get to write the month. Oh, and I've realized that I like to go maybe 1 to 2 months at a time.
Oh.
Yeah. When I do a big journal, I start to get overwhelmed.
It is so exciting to get a new journal. Here is mine that I picked out for this year.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's thick, isn't it?
It's thick. Yeah, it's a big one. And for those of you who can't see, it's got like a big tree with just magical beings underneath it. And it's
like a magical tree.
Floating in space with swirling colors all around it. Yeah, I usually pick them for the year. And this last year, my journal finished to the day that I bought the new one.
No!
It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. But that's interesting to do a month or so at a time. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I noticed psychologically when I was having a bad month and the journal kept going on afterwards, there was like a feeling of closure from if I would have a bad month and the journal ended and I started a new one.
Wow.
Like psychologically, it was good for me to be like, okay, that month's over and I'm getting a new journal now and starting again. It's
that
kind of like
sense.
action which meets the emotion. And then also, I love buying journals.
Yeah.
So I get to buy one for every month.
That's really what it's about, is just being able to buy new ones. I agree. New journals, new pens, new ink. It's all so exciting.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just a fresh start every month. I'm like, okay.
A big deal. My calendar book is a big deal to me. And I just bought my new one for the new year. That was very exciting. Last year I had black. And this year I went with blue with gold sparkles.
Love it.
Yeah.
Like a starry night.
Does anyone else have this addiction to office supply stores the way Annabelle and I do? Because that's like crack to me. You get me a gift card to Office Depot.
It really is. Wow, yeah. Just if anyone out there wants to woo Lucy Walsh,
Office Depot.
office supplies. I'm very specific about the journals as well. It has to be Italian made, has to be Italian paper.
Really? Why?
Because they just make it differently. It's just such lovely paper. The ink absorbs into it nicely. It feels good. It's never like white. It's always off-white.
Yeah, the off-white makes a difference.
It's just really high-quality paper.
Ooh, let's see where my journal is made. Let's see. Probably made in China. Mine, yep, printed in China. There you go.
It's an ancient culture. I'm sure they're great at making paper at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far. Wow, I'm already 3/4 of the way through. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
It's gonna be used up.
It's gonna be used up.
That was a thrilling introduction to the pod. You're all very welcome.
Thrilling. You are welcome. Let's hear from everyone. Maybe we could ask them this week, like, what kind of journals they use, or if they do journal. I don't think we've ever asked anybody that of our listeners.
We promote journaling. But we haven't asked if they journal. Okay. Should we do... Wait, do we do...
Don't even ask me this. Don't you dare ask me this.
Just take it away. Just take it away. Whatever it is, take it away. It's not world news.
It's not important news. It's Lucy and Annabel news. Woo! What do you got for us today, Annabel Chrysanthemum Jones?
Changing my name, actually, now that you've just said that again, I actually feel very attached to it, and I'm changing my name.
That's what you are to me.
The news I've got today is, it's kind of just everyone's news.
The people's news.
This is actually, for once, world news. I'm just going to go in my little Instagrammy here. So, Boris Johnson has gone on the telly and he said that we're going to be having new COVID restrictions and, everyone's shitting themselves about a second lockdown or third lockdown or whatever number of lockdown that the British people are on at this point. And this is all in the wake of it coming out that he had a Christmas party, and then it wasn't just one Christmas party, there was actually several Christmas parties, and everyone's lost the plot, understandably.
Oh my God.
Because people were dying alone in hospitals without their family around them, people were alone for Christmas, everyone else was living a life of torment while our government was having little Christmas parties with nibbles and a secret Santa. And what's worse is that they've repeatedly gone on record saying that wasn't the case, and now video is coming out to disprove that. And then other people are saying, okay, like the Department of Education people, I think, were like, you know what, we admit we had a party. So it's all kicking off, and I'm just sharing this news because I'm here to incite revolution if they do try to lock English people down again. How can anyone take it seriously at this point?
Yeah.
I don't know how they can. I'm just watching it unfold like, you cannot be serious. Oh no, here comes the little boy again.
Oh, I hear him. He's crying.
He's sad now. He was really happy on the way down, and now Granny's had to carry him up. He's sad.
Why is he crying?
He's just heard the news.
He's heard the news. He saw the video footage of Boris's party.
So I'm just fascinated by this because I'm watching it all unfold. I'm on Twitter. There's lots of hashtags coming up. Do not comply ever. Not never again. All of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, contradictory government is very dangerous. It's not fair. It infuriates people. This is a life or death situation where you're saying they're forced to die alone in a hospital, be alone, be sick alone, and yet the higher-ups are just schmoozing and boozing. Mm-hmm. That's recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and I think people are really, this time, I think there is a big energy of like, we're just not going to go along with this time, because I've seen, I mean, everyone's talking about it for a start. I don't know if you're familiar with Ant and Dec. They're TV personalities that were here on, I could be wrong, sorry, any English people, don't get angry at me. I think they started on a program called Biker Grove, and they went on from there. And they're a hosting duo. They've been working together since they were boys. And they were on like their show. They're doing I'm a Celebrity or something like that. And they actually spoke to camera about it and were like, criticised Boris Johnson to camera. Like Ant and Dec, the most milquetoast kind of middle of the road vanilla boys ever. So people are pissed. They're being questioned on television now in a way that people weren't really talking about it before. And I don't know, I just think the general consensus is like, yeah, nice try, pull the other one. We're not.
No.
We're not doing that again. It's what's sad about it is that I think, unfortunately, this is the stuff that makes people not just angry and hurt and feel robbed and cheated because they've done things and they've lost people and not seen their granny or not seen their mum or whatever it is while they're dying, etc. Lost jobs, all of that kind of thing. I think it undermines all of the messaging and all of the trust in the government in general. Forget the like tit for tat, I'm angry, you did, I didn't. What it does is it fuels a general distrust. And I think the knock-on effect of that is that, well, if you're lying about this, what else are you lying about? And I think governments like shoot themselves in the foot by doing this stuff, because I think stuff like this is what ends up discouraging people from getting vaccinated and complying when things are important. So that's what is upsetting to me, is the knock-on long-term effect of it. Like, now when you are going to say to them, we really need you to do this, or this is really important, or this is a really bad strain, and now you do need to get vaccinated, or whatever it is.
They go, yeah.
Or you do need to do this. People are going to go, yeah, you said that last time and you were having a party. So it's just, that's what upsets me, is that, again, the general public are the ones that in the long run are going to suffer, because government will have all protections, all medical, all everything that they need, all the money, all the sorry, my jet lag hasn't gone, so my words aren't quite
all the resources,
all the resources, all the tools to survive anything, they all have. And again, it's the people, it's the general population are the ones that are suffering, going without, and being basically traumatized by this whole situation while they're off hobnobbing.
Yeah, that's why it's dangerous. It's dangerous in a lot of ways.
It's just sad. It just makes me feel sad for everyone. More than angry, I just feel really devastated for everyone, because it's such a fucking kick in the, excuse my language, cunt, after what they've all gone through. I mean, they had it so much worse here than we had it with the lockdowns and all that.
Oh, yeah. And I was going back and forth during the whole of lockdown, really. And so I really did experience it in both countries. And it's been so much worse in England. Just because of the contradictory government, the back and forth all the time. And they've just had to stay inside for so long. I know. In the winters, it gets dark here at 4 o'clock and people are forced to stay inside. It's depressing.
Yeah, definitely. I've been so interested in watching it all unfold. You know how I love to just like watch and analyze everything. And it seems like online, from Instagram and Twitter, everyone is just livid, and it seems like there is a growing kind of anti-government sentiment in a way that we weren't really seeing last year. I mean, people were annoyed, but this is like definitely a different tone that I'm seeing. Yeah. And I don't like that. It feels divided, feels shit. But I'd rather that we were going against them than each other.
Yeah, that's true. At least there's unity among the people.
We're so much stronger, and we're so much more likely to get what we want as a people if we are together. So yeah, it's really interesting. And I think the best way to sort of undermine this government is to vote them out. If you don't like what's been going on over the last years, and especially during COVID and everything else and Brexit, then, you know, rather than flouting rules or not wearing a mask or being a prick, just vote them out.
Do you think it's possible to get a government in ever that will actually do the right thing?
No, what? They're always going to do something wrong by somebody.
Right.
Like, but I feel like Boris has just been a colossal fuck up, like, from day one. And I just wish he would brush his fucking hair.
I saw his news conference about the COVID, and his hair was, like, worse than ever. What is going on?
It's, like, going every way.
It's amazing. It
goes every
Does
way.
he know that his hair is a huge joke?
I think he thinks it's charming. You know, it's like, if you were going to dress up as Boris for Halloween, it would be really, really easy. I think it's part of his thing, and I think he's very clever, and I think he uses his
isms.
Very funny, yes. Hot. Yeah, I think he massively uses that as a softener for his, you know, horrible
policies.
actions. Because he is a lovable idiot. He's a lovable idiot. And that's the problem, is that we all go, yeah, but it's Boris, you know, but it's like, no, fuck Boris. And his stupid haircut. Can't he just put a tie on straight for once in his life?
I feel like Obama is the only president in the past 20 years that has not been a lovable idiot.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, listen, not perfect also, but he was very presidential. Very presidential.
Yeah, he really was.
Anyway, that was my news. I couldn't help but not talk about it because it's just everywhere and it's just happened as well. So I'm just like, I'm watching it unfold and I'm just fascinated by the whole thing.
Yeah, it is. It's very important.
Before we go on, the reason I pulled up my Instagram is because I wanted to play this clip.
Oh, okay.
Which is about what I've just said. So here we go.
I know I keep talking about it, but just hold on. Listen. People couldn't attend their family's funeral. Grandparents passed away before they saw their grandchildren. The Queen had to go to her husband's wedding. The Queen, Her Royal Highness, Her Majesty, Sovereign Grace, had to go to her husband's funeral by herself. She stood in that church alone with a mask. Do you know how sad? That was heartbreaking. And these men in Downing Street were doing cheese and wine nibbles. They were doing Camembert and Merlot. It's not funny. It really isn't funny. But if you don't laugh, you do Guy Fawkes. I'll actually go burn down Parliament.
She says, if it's not funny, you do Guy Fawkes. It made me laugh so much. I was just like, do you know what? I'll do a Guy Fawkes. If everyone else is on board, I'll do a Guy Fawkes with all of you. It's true though. It's like, if you don't laugh, you'll just go mad.
It'll kill you.
And I think that, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to play that because I thought you'd think it was funny.
It is funny. She is right.
All right, onto your news.
All right, well, I'm going to do 2 small news articles to add up to your one important one, okay? One is about this Dunkin' Donuts employee in Ohio, in America, who recently received a huge surprise from one of her loyal customers. Her name is Ebony Johnson. She works at Dunkin' Donuts, and she met the customer, Suzanne Burke, when Suzanne would come in, starting 3 years ago. She's come in pretty much every day for her coffee, and the two have become really friendly, and they talk every day. And Suzanne, the customer, found out that Ebony has 3 children and is going through a difficult time and was evicted from her home. And so she banded together with other members of the community, and they raised the money to put Ebony and her children back in their home in time for the holidays. And I'm not sure how much money was raised that they gave to Ebony and her family, but they're back in their home for Christmas, and they're just Ebony had so much to say about how grateful she was for Suzanne and for the whole community, and she just couldn't believe that somebody would be so thoughtful and take that action. So that made me really happy to hear.
Love it.
I love that.
That's beautiful. Really beautiful. And where was that?
That's
what
in
state
Ohio.
Was that?
Oh,
Midwest,
yeah.
right?
Good hearts. Good people. Yep.
Good people.
And the other little news snippet is, speaking of lovable idiot leaders, Napoleon Bonaparte, his sword just sold at auction for $2.8 million. It was his sword and a few of his firearms. Yeah, it was put up for sale in Illinois, and it sold on my birthday over the phone to an anonymous buyer for $2.8 million. So somebody just acquired Napoleon's weapons. A very rare piece of history, they say.
Wow.
Wow. Imagine having that money that you just like...
That is...
Yeah, you know what? I think I want Napoleon's sword. I think...
Well, yesterday at Downton, they had Napoleon's desk.
Oh my God, wow.
Their family had it. I guess they bought it at some point.
Amazing. Okay. Listener feedback. Okay. And then we're talking about Downton Abbey, which I am so excited to hear about. Annabel's trip to Highclere Castle. All right, listener feedback.
Thank you, ladies, for another great episode. Hope you're feeling better now, Lucy. Annabel, enjoy your magical time back in England. I had a mild freak out when you said Judy Garland's version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas was your favourite Christmas song. It's been mine for so long, and it so often gets overlooked by others, even though it is the original version that she actually helped write. Absolute joy for me. I didn't know that. I didn't know that she had written parts of that song.
Me neither, and I heard it for the first time the other night without remembering that you had said that. It came up on my Christmas playlist, and I listened to it for I've never heard it. Crazy, and I loved it.
What?
So I'm happy you mentioned that again. It's gorgeous, and I love the way she sings it, and I love just like the way she says her words, and she's so special.
She is. She's so special. I love that song. I've always loved it. It's from one of my favourite movies, Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Which was the first time I kind of experienced Judy Garland.
Uh-huh.
I know that everyone else really experienced her in, what's that spooky, creepy film with the flying things and the witches?
Yeah, The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz. As a child, that film was so stressful to me. I couldn't stand it. And I know everyone loves it. And I know everyone loves Dorothy and all of that. But I found it to be horrifying.
Well, it's like a drug trip.
The thought that could... Yeah, I felt like the fact that could happen to a little girl frightened me so much. I was just like, absolutely not, no. So my first real experience of her was in Meet Me in St. Louis.
Right.
Which, have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
One of my favourite films.
It is.
So beautiful. Love it. Love the music. Love all of it. All like everyone looks amazing. Everyone's.
I know.
Amazing.
God, the outfits.
Oh God, that when she sings that song and she's wearing the headscarf that's like bejeweled with like pearl and something else, and just the way she's soft lit and the red dress and everything, it's just like, imagine looking like that.
I know. Imagine the closet of just
the tennis outfits, all of it. God. I'm just like,
it's gorgeous, gorgeous.
So that's where I discovered that song. I was always obsessed with it. It's still my favorite. And then when I was like maybe 11 or 12, I was due to sing it at the Christmas concert at the church.
Really?
And my music teacher, Melanie, hated me.
What's up, Melanie?
And at the last minute, she pulled my performance.
No.
Yeah, she'd promised me all year I could do it, and at the last minute, she pulled it because they needed more room, and mine was the only one that wasn't like religious, even though we weren't a religious school. She hated me so much, that woman.
Well, where is she now? Let's find her. Let's get her on here.
I don't know. I'll tell you a quick tale of that. I got really angry with her after a while because she kept punishing me, and I threw rocks at her car. And I got sent to the headmaster's office, and he said, to be honest, Annabel, I don't blame you. He said, it wasn't the right thing to do. It's a bad choice. but I don't blame you, and I understand why you did it.
That's amazing.
So that was my little bit of listener feedback.
Okay, well,
how about you?
I had a lot of listener feedback this week just from people telling me. I had a handful of people, friends, people I don't know very well, some family members, just telling me that they've been listening, and you forget it. You know, you and I have experienced this where we'll be talking with people in our lives, and we say something about our past, and they go, "Yeah, I know," and you go, "What? Oh my God!" So, because you and I have shared a lot of stuff that we don't realize, and
yeah, we've shared,
and then I forget. So, so just generally from listeners who I know personally, just a lot of gratitude and telling us how much episodes are connecting the dots for them. And as always, means a lot to hear. It's very important and useful for us to hear because it helps us learn about where to focus our conversations and what direction
100%.
to go in. So
100%.
I collect it like a survey, you know. I know we have a lot of listener feedback about the questions we asked about Christmas and stuff, so we'll talk about that in a bit.
Should we see if I can play one of these voicemails? I haven't really figured out. Of course,
yes. So we created our hotline, and we've been getting messages. And again, the number for all of you, if you want to call us and leave us a BM, is 805-836-2950. That's an American number. And we want to hear from you. Please keep leaving us voicemails. Do we have a few in the kitty so far?
Hey, Mark Bernstein, saw your posting, and it was a hotline, so maybe I'm the first to call. And Karma says thanks for the tote with the pink lips, and we're looking forward to our hoodie. So take care, you two. Bye-bye.
Isn't it thrilling? Oh, it's thrilling. I love it.
It is thrilling. Mark Bernstein. Thank you, Mark Bernstein.
Mark Bernstein. Shout out to Mark Bernstein. Massive friend of the pod. Big supporter. We love you, Mark Bernstein. Here you go. Got one more.
Hey, Lucy and Annabel. This is Carolyn Shield calling. I just wanted to say that I enjoy your podcast, and I'm glad you got to be together in person for the latest one. That's so wonderful. And Annabelle, I hope you really enjoy your trip to England. I know that's coming up soon, and I'll message you about the payment for those shorts. So keep up the great work, you two, and keep loving each other and loving others. That's so wonderful. Take care. Bye.
Oh. How sweet is that? What was her name?
I don't know. Caroline Shield.
Oh,
ooh, emotional.
Yeah,
I don't know why I get so emotional about things.
Oh, keep loving each other and loving others.
Yeah, good message for everyone. Message for everyone. So that is the kind of most of the ye old feedback.
Great.
But like Lucy said, we did a little question and answer. And we asked you, oh God, there's a lot of these, what your favourite Christmas songs were.
Yeah.
Some of you said White Christmas with Davy and Annabel. Very sweet.
Very sweet.
Thank you. I loved doing that. It was very moche, obviously.
Yeah.
One of my favourites here, Fairy Tale of New York.
Oh my God, yes.
Second favourite to Have Yourself a Merry Little
Now,
Christmas.
Americans don't know that song.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I want to play a little bit of it for everyone. There you go. That's some of Fairy Tale of New York. What was the other one you just said?
Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses.
I've never heard that one.
I'll send it to you. Actually, I'll make a playlist with all of your suggestions that you've sent in, plus some of Lucy and my favourite suggestions and our favourite songs. Have you ever heard of the last one?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Bottom.
Is that real?
I don't know.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. I haven't heard of that one. We'll have to do some research on this. That's from Kim. There's also Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer on here.
Okay, you guys are completely nuts. Love it.
You people are drinking a lot of eggnog. Oh, Melekalikimaka. Yes, that's a good one. Oh, the Monkees did a version of that?
Yeah, they did. It was really good, actually.
I have to hear that. I only know the Bing Crosby version. Yeah, there's a lot of great... the Home Alone soundtrack, if that counts. How cute is that? The Home Alone soundtrack. Great idea. It does count.
I think it counts. I think you can have a soundtrack, yeah. For sure.
Well, this is a great list, everybody. So, yeah, Annabel volunteered to compile a list. You heard her. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'll do it. And then also we asked you if you'd be interested in a book club and a group chat, and overwhelmingly you said yes. So Lucy and I are on the case.
I think it's hilarious that 20 people or 20% of people responded and said no.
They're like, yeah, no, we've had enough of you every week. Thanks a lot, though.
Like,
thanks.
No, thanks. Lot. Thanks for nothing. Thanks. Bye.
And subscribe.
Yeah, okay, good. So book list.
Okay, so that seems like that's the news.
Book club, just to like give a little taste of what that'll be. Can we just quickly say like what we've read lately or our favorite book? Do you have an answer for that?
So book club's going to be a real challenge for me because I read unfathomably slowly. So I might let you take control of the book club. Well, Annabel, I will of course participate.
I have to say, I have a real problem with book clubs too, and they really piss me off because I hate them. So, because I don't like having to keep up with everyone and then the whole thing. But here's what book club means to me. Like, book club to me just means talking about the best books we've ever read, sharing the books we are reading, talking about them as much as we want, and passing along ideas to people for stuff to read. Not necessarily like one book at a time and then a questionnaire afterwards.
Okay, so we're talking about...
Yeah, to me, it's more of like a book support group. A reading support group. A support group for readers.
How many more types of support groups can we have for this podcast?
But do you know what I mean? Like, I just love the discussion of books, and that's what I'd like to do with listeners, as opposed to us all having to stay on one together. I hate that. I can't do that.
Okay. All right.
Does that sound better to you?
You got it. No, I love the sound of that. And I think that there's something that we can do that's in between those two things.
But I want to know what the best book you've ever read is. What's your favorite book?
Well, my favorite book is Wuthering Heights. That's my favorite book. Anything by the Bronte sisters. And then modern stuff, I would say that, you know, really pretty obvious, but Sally Rooney is one of my favorite modern authors. I loved Normal People so much. I'm really, really enjoying Beautiful World, Where Are You? Her newest book. It's fantastic.
I haven't read any of her books. That's great.
Oh, God. All right. Well, I'll send you, because Alex is finishing it now. When he's finished, I'll send you Normal People. And then when we're finished with the other one, I'll send it to you as well. I believe massively in sharing books, as in like I rarely hold on to books. There's only a few special ones that I will hold on to, but maybe this is something we can incorporate into the book support group.
Yeah,
we need to find something better to call it. Is that we can send each other books. I think that would be really sweet, like in the post.
Yeah,
you know,
I do too.
I'd be really interested, and it would be so fun to get a book that you know nothing about from somebody else. So I'll send you those. But those are my favorites, I would say. How about you?
My favorites, well, the book I just finished called Circe, and that's one of the best books I've ever read. A book that's always stayed with me is called Loving Frank, and I'm going to find out who it's by right now. Loving Frank is by Nancy Horan, Horan, and it's the true story of Frank Lloyd Wright's lover. And it was a huge news scandal at the time. It was at the time kind of one of the first very publicized relationships of scandal where paparazzi were involved, and it was in the 30s, I believe. And it's just a fantastic novel called Loving Frank about the architect Frank Lloyd Wright. Another book that blew my world apart. I read it like 20 years ago and I've never forgotten it. It's called She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. And this is a man writing as a female character, which I always find fascinating. Memoirs of a Geisha was also written by a man. And there's just these certain books. I know, it's incredible when that happens. And vice versa, when a woman writes as a male character. I find that so interesting. And She's Come Undone was a book that really stuck with me. About a woman struggling.
That's interesting that you say that. That's so interesting that you say that. I've never really thought about that before. And actually, that's what the Brontes do massively, is so many of their protagonists are these, obviously they're women, the protagonists, but then there are these male characters that are huge, like for instance Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights. Really, it's his story, and she writes it so well. I've never really thought about it. I don't know, I don't think like that really. I don't really think about that, but I think it makes a lot of sense what you're saying, that it is interesting to have the perspective, because I think generally, for the most part, men writing women's stories does not translate well. And I think when it does, it's like fucking amazing, because I think there is a magic in somebody. I think there is that magic. You and I have discussed this before, inhabiting both your female and male energy. And for somebody to be able to do that and then share it, I think it's a woman read it and connect with it so deeply and go, yes, that's exactly how I feel as a woman. For a man to get that is really special. And that's why, Memoirs of a Geisha was an extraordinary book. And She's Come Undone is as well. And we do inhabit both, as we always say. We are all both male and female. And so, those are a couple extraordinary books. Of course, the Bronte sisters create these iconic male characters. Yeah. It's wild. It's just wild. It's, I know. It's really interesting. So, without further ado, I must hear about Downton. Okay. First, I'm just going to tell you about a fascinating thing. Oh my God, she's going to make me wait longer, you guys. I can't stand it. No, I've watched, I'm going blind by the sun. I've watched, oh my back. I've watched a funeral today in the village. You know how we always talk about people, different cultures' expressions of death? Is this interesting to you? Very. Okay, so I knew something was going on this morning because the bells ring at, not every hour, but we've heard all different types of bells while we've been here, because they ring at midnight. And you were hearing the bell practice too, right? Yeah, and the house is right by the church, literally the graveyard. Look, you can see it out the window. So this morning we heard like very ominous bells, and I was like, what's that? And I thought maybe it was just in my head and I was being weird. But then I realised that there was a funeral going on, because I saw, preparations. You might be able to hear the brass band right now. Yeah, I can hear it. Okay, it's a military funeral. And it started with the bells ringing all morning, in like doing funeral bells to alert the surrounding areas that there was a funeral. And then a man walks in front of the hearse around the village like several times with a top hat on and his gloves and everything. And he walks in front of the coffin up to the church, and then the family joins and they walk around the church and around the whole village and do a lap of like through the roads, through the village, going past everyone's houses, taking the coffin around everyone's houses.
Wow.
And then they all walked up to the church, obviously, and had the ceremony and everything. And there's a big brass band there playing right now. I'm just watching everyone leave. But it was just so fascinating to watch the whole procession and the way that they are sharing with not just the village, but like the surrounding villages by ringing the bells. And the roads here are tiny, so we watched the coffin very slowly go past the windows of the cottage, and it was very beautiful and felt very like a privilege to see this person be, you know, do their last lap of the village. I don't know, it just really like struck me as it felt very positive, you know, it felt very like healthy. And
I wonder who it was.
I think it must have been a military person, and it was a lot of older people, so I'm going to assume it was a man, because military people were really exclusively men, that long ago. So but really amazing to watch how they do it here, definitely. But anyway, just wanted to share that because I'm watching them all leave now. Off they go. Probably down to the pub to get absolutely shit-faced. So...
yeah, different cultures, different parts of the world. Celebrate death and have different traditions, don't they? It's really interesting to peek in on somebody else's way of doing things.
It felt a bit voyeuristic at first, and then I was like, no, there's a reason that they are bringing him around the houses.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the point, is they want you to look out your window and be a part of it.
Yeah. Felt very lucky to be a part of it in a strange way, even though I don't even know the person.
Aw, well, bless his soul, whoever it is.
Yeah, definitely.
And you are a total voyeur, by the way.
I really am. I've watched the whole thing from the moment I heard those bells this morning. I was fascinated. Okay, so let's get on to what you really want to hear about, which is Downton Abbey.
I really want to hear about your trip to Highclere Castle. Can you please tell us everything? We saw the picture of you on the bench.
Oh my God.
And as you said on Instagram, you couldn't take any pictures inside, but tell us everything, please, from start to finish.
You're not allowed to take pictures inside, which I found really, really interesting, especially given the time that we're living in. They do use that house. They have another house that they live in, but they use that house for gatherings, guests, Christmas, Easter, you know, anything like that, birthdays. They still use it. So, but they live in another house. And
on the property?
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah, there's loads of houses on the property. So I assume so. And they have a room. Obviously, this was all the questions I was asking. I wasn't asking anything about Downton Abbey to the people who work there. I'm like, right, where does Lady Carnarvon hang her knickers to dry? I'm very interested. So they have a bedroom. She's like, it's actually that bedroom over there in the corner. It's closed right now, but that's their room when they're here. And I was like, okay, right. But so at first I was like, okay, it's their house. I understand why they don't want pictures taken inside. And then when I realised it's not like their full-time house, that kind of made it more bewildering to me, because I think it's two things. It's like, one, you think like, oh, we want people to come here and see it in person, and if they see pictures, they won't come. But for me...
Oh, they won't buy a ticket?
Yeah, but for me, it's the opposite. Like, I have a whole travel thing on my Instagram where it's things that I've seen online where I'm like, I have to see that. And actually...
Yeah, you want to go and
see it
be
in
there.
person. Yeah, so... I don't know. Exactly. I think that's really interesting, and I think kind of like they've missed the trick slightly with it. There are so many big sort of stately homes and houses that I want to visit while I'm here because I've seen the interiors on Instagram. So I found that really interesting, and I think that there's so much in that. I mean, when I was in there, I was like, I'm devastated that I can't take pictures right now, because it was just, there was Bibles from like, I don't know, fucking 1600, 1700 that are like as big as me in the bookshelf. There's just Napoleon's desk.
God.
There's ancient Egyptian things that the Viscount had taken from Tutankhamun's grave when he did the dig there. Like, all of this mad shit. So I was obviously like, I want to take pictures of everything, but whatever. So you can't take photos inside. So I took as many photos outside of all the beautiful little details that I could. So you get there, it's all very chilled, very friendly. Everyone's very happy. You go in through the front door. That was very thrilling to stand on the pebbles. And the entryway is just beautiful. Like, you know how in churches they have that kind of, I don't want to say limestone, that's not probably correct, but that white looking stone. It's almost like the front doorway looks like you're inside of a church, but
I'm pretty sure it is limestone. I'm pretty sure you're right.
So you go in and it's like these beautiful like marble pillars all around you and like paintings on a entryway that's probably as big as this whole cottage. And then you get ushered in and the first thing you go through is the library. And it's like exactly
Lord Grantham's library.
Exactly. And it's exactly like Downton Abbey. And what I realised while I was there was that the story and the programme feels massively inspired by the family in many ways. Do you know what I mean? I know all of these old aristocrats have their own traditions and they've all got similar traditions and similar lifestyles and similar ways of doing things, but
yeah,
it's their house that is the same rugs, the same everything. The Downton Abbey people just come in and film literally like as if they were to walk in and film in your living room right now without you touching anything. So they said that they changed the light bulbs and some of the lamp shades to be appropriate for the time. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
I checked because I obviously I love watching details and things and being like, that wasn't there last time, or look at that, or that, why is that electricity plug there? And it's like everything was the same. I was so shocked that they had the same rugs down for our tour that the family used that was in the filming, because it's like 800 people a day were going through that place taking tours of Downton Abbey. You know?
How incredible. I just think of the actors and it's just a dream come true. I mean, to book a job like that and have that experience is out of this world. I can't, it's just incredible. But
that's what I was thinking.
Think like how much respect they had to have in those rooms and how careful they had to be, because you're dealing with these pieces of history, these historic antiques. And, my favorite thing is that couch in Lord Grantham's library, that couch by the fire. That's
exactly where it is in the program. That's how they have their living room.
Oh God, I love that couch. So were you could you see the dining room?
Yeah.
Or the other sitting room?
I thought that we had booked a tour because you barely can get tickets. They're at a third of the capacity right now because of COVID. They're not having as many people through. So there was barely any tickets. There isn't any until spring now. And I thought we were just only going to see the ground floor, but we actually got to see the whole house, which I wasn't expecting. And when we walked in the main hall, which you go in at the very end of the tour, where the balcony is and all of that, there was a group of carol singers there by the Christmas tree, like singing while people were walking around. I know. So you go in, you're in the library, you go through that, and then you go into a smoking room that isn't in the program, which is smaller and just like a bit more masculine, portraits everywhere, quite casual, couch, armchairs, and they've got artifacts in all the different rooms. They also have all of their family photos, as you or I would have, everywhere. It's a family home. You're in somebody's home, very much so.
Do they have children?
Yeah.
Do they have younger children?
Yeah. I mean, they're older now, but yeah. And then the next room you go to is a morning room, which again isn't in the program. And then the next room we went into...
They really don't use very many rooms in the program.
Yeah. So the next room I think that we went into is that blue room where they're in before they go in for dinner, where they always have their cocktails and everything.
I love that room.
It is.
I love that room.
So beautiful. It's so
God,
beautiful. It's exactly like it is, except for it's got the actual family's portraits and things around.
It's like you've gone through the screen and you are in it. Show.
Yeah. My favorite room. So we did all that, and then my favorite room was the music room, which was one of the smaller rooms, really high ceilings, and like almost like Michelangelo type paintings on with fairies and cherubs and angels and clouds, and they were going up the walls. Everything was paneled, yellow, gold, green. I felt like I was in like Marie Antoinette's playhouse. And that was the music room. And I was just like, of course this is the music room. That's where Napoleon's desk was. It was just, it was divine. And then they took us upstairs and we went up the back staircase, which was the Georgian staircase. So we went up there.
Okay.
And then we went through all the bedrooms. We went through like all of their rooms. We went through Lady Grantham's
Did you see where Lord Pamuk died?
We fucking did. We saw where Mr. Pamuk died. Mr. Pamuk.
No, the scandal.
Oh, I can see him now reeking of pomade. You know, when she says that, and then he canters up on his horse and he's just like fucking dead fit. For any of you that haven't watched the show, you've got to watch it. It's so good. Basically,
you guys go watch Downton Abbey. You'll know everything we're talking about.
Mary diddles Mr. Pamuk, and
in like the first episode,
really early on, and in the throes of love, Mr. Pamuk croaks. And then the drama ensues from there.
Yep.
So we saw Mr. Pamuk's final resting place.
Amazing.
That was one of actually the most well-preserved rooms, I felt. And everything is smaller than it looks on screen.
Really? That's what I wanted to know. What is the scale as compared to how it looks on the screen?
On the outside, the house looks the same. But on the inside, everything looks like the mini version of what you've seen on the screen. Because you know how it feels like there's loads of room above them and loads of space between all of them. And then when you're in the rooms, you think, how did they make it look so big in here?
They're just side by side.
It's
and rather small.
Still big,
interesting.
But it's not like how they make it look. Like they make it look like crazy big compared to how it is. So we did all the bedrooms, thrilling, and then we got to go out on the gallery and look down on the main room, and like you can look across and see where like it was so good. And then thrill of a lifetime, Lady Carnarvon, the real lady of the house, was there doing live TV for ITV. She was speaking to Holly Willoughby, and she did little ITV segment, and we got to watch her do TV, which was very fun and thrilling. And she had a dog with her.
Wow.
And then the carol singers came in again, and we went downstairs. We got to walk down the big stairwell, like the actual proper one.
Wow.
And then stand in the great.
Did you see any of the servants' quarters?
Yeah. So that was another one of my most exciting moments, was when I found out that we were allowed to go down to the servants' hall.
Did you go to the kitchen?
So no, I didn't go to the kitchen because it wasn't there. I don't think. I think that was like an outside set that they built. I'm going to go back in
Interesting.
the summer.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Well, everything else was mostly in the house. But then like when I went down the servants' stairs, there was no entry double doors in front of me, which is where their sitting room is. So maybe that was there.
Right, yeah.
But I think it's probably quite small, and I don't know how that would work with the COVID stuff. So actually, when you go down the servants' hall and you're down there, you find yourself in the Egyptian exhibition that they have there, because they've got all of like this Tutankhamun stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because the old Viscount went and opened his tomb. And all of that's fascinating.
I never thought about it, but they could have easily built an external set of the servants' hall and the kitchen.
I think they might have done. I mean, there was some, when we were leaving, we were definitely in some of the areas where they shot the servants' stuff. But I would have, like, for me, a great thrill would have been to see in, like, in the butler's, you know, room. If they had that set up, like his room, I just would have been, like, beside myself with joy. But the thing is that it's not a working house in that way anymore. So that's not a real thing that exists in their home. That was a set.
Right.
So those things were all sets. Everything for the servants wasn't a real part of their life. Everything that is a real part of their life is preserved exactly as you'd see it on the show because it was used exactly how they live.
Yeah.
And
amazing.
Yeah, it was so amazing. And what I thought was really great and made me feel happy for the family is that while Downton Abbey is a part of their story, it is not their story. There are so many elements to the family's story. And I thought it was really tastefully done, the way that they did the Downton Abbey stuff. It wasn't like, here's Mary's costume in a glass case and her signature from Hugh Bonneville. You know, it wasn't like that. It was like there were a couple of pictures on, you know, like printed out on things to be like, this is this room, and a few quotes from Downton Abbey. And the guides were all really, really knowledgeable, but it wasn't like, welcome to the set of Downton Abbey. Huzzah. Like, it was very much a part of the story. So we did all that, and we got a tea and a piece of cake, and we also got this free book, Christmas at Highclere.
That was free?
Yeah. It's a big book. Lady Carnarvon, there she is. She's so pretty.
She's beautiful.
She really is so beautiful. Lady Carnarvon writes books, and this one is called Christmas at Highclere, Recipes and Traditions from the Real Downton Abbey by the Countess of Carnarvon. Carnarvon.
Wow.
Alec keeps calling her...
Carnarvon.
Alec keeps calling her the Lady Countess of Cannibal or Lady Carnivore or something. I'm like, no, that's not
Lady Carnivore.
It is a bit of a...
So you said you had tea?
Carnarvon.
Did you have tea and cake?
Yeah, we had some tea and cake, and we got them in little to-go cups, and we actually walked around all of the grounds, and it was so beautiful. Like, as for me,
wow,
it was as exciting as being on the inside, was going and looking at where the stables were, walking through the different... They had like a monk's garden, they had a bunch of beautiful greenhouses. I'm actually going to put a post on my personal Instagram of all of the photos that I took. Big like statues and busts, and they had a secret garden, and they had different orchards, and you know, it was just so beautiful. They had little, you know, like the templed kind of, I don't know, what is it called? Is it called a folly? I don't know. When you look out the window of the main house and there's that thing. Yeah. That's there for reals, and you can see it from like the main rooms of the house, from the library and everything. So that was so fun to go up there, because they did do a lot of filming up there and like walk towards the house the way that they did in the show. Yes. It was really fun. So fantastic. Honestly, it was such a good day. It was so worth the money. I'm going to go back because I want to see the gardens in the summer. I think that they would just be amazing. So I'm going to go back when the weather is warmer.
So even if you can't buy a ticket for the inside, are you welcome to go in the property and buy a ticket outside, or no?
I think in the summer you can. So I think that there are garden tickets for the summer. Not the winter, obviously, because it's like muddy garden and tickets, wet and whatever. And then in the winter, it's like house, and you can do the bits of the garden. So there's all these different types of tickets that you can buy to do different things. So our slot with our tour, our time to be in the house was from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. Oh,
I see.
So, and then we could spend
3-hour
we could
slot.
spend as long as we wanted in the grounds.
Well, that's great. You can do the house in 3 hours and then stay until early evening.
I mean, you can do the house in an hour. We wanted to go around again, but we got so wrapped up in the gardens that we missed the slot anyway. But we'll go back for sure, because I want to see all the flowers. I want to see the secret garden in bloom. I want to see the roses and all of that. So Oh my God, it was
That's so
so
exciting,
good.
Annabelle.
And I was so happy
I'm so glad you did that for yourself.
I'm so glad I passed all my tests and was allowed out to do it. I was so nervous that morning. Like, imagine if the tests come back and I can't go. But it was all fine.
Devastating.
I know I would have actually lost it. But it was all fine. And yeah, this book is so great. It's really good quality. It's got all kinds of recipes. It's got gifts and shopping. Like, it's kind of like a Martha Stewart vibe of like showing you like how to do a crisp.
It's like a lifestyle book.
Yeah, it is, and it's actually really sweet the way that she writes it. It's almost like a journal. It's really, really sweet.
Oh.
Yeah, I love. Oh, she signed it as well. Wow, just really.
Ooh, I was gonna say, does it have an autograph in it?
It sure does. You know, it's just really, it's like how to wrap. It's just all of it. It's so cute. Really.
Wow, I wonder if is that available? I want to buy it for a few people for Christmas. I hope it's available online.
You can, I'm sure you can buy it. They had it at the gift shop.
And that's included with your ticket price?
Yeah.
How loving of them. That's really amazing.
I know, it's so sweet. That or they printed too many and they want to get rid of them.
Right, they just have a surplus and they got to get rid of them.
But I'll take the less cynical view and that they just really care about us and that they want to give us a nice present.
Yeah, they do.
I'm going to shut my curtain again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my update. I just close it. Oh, sorry guys about the light.
Okay,
about the lighting.
I know both our lightings are messed up today. Well, that is a great update. I'm so excited to live vicariously through you for now. I can't wait to be able to go one day myself. And wow, Downton.
You should.
New movie coming out. Not sure how I feel about it. I'm feeling a little English about the new movie because I don't want anything to change. And I'm very freaked out that they're like going other places and that people are dead now and the story's going to change and some characters are leaving. I don't know what to expect and I'm not really comfortable with this.
I know, I don't like it either. I'm so scared.
Because what I saw in the previews, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Don't think I can handle that. That's not Downton.
Yeah.
No.
I know it's going to be scary, but I think we'll get through it. We'll adjust.
Even when Mary got a new haircut, I could barely handle it. How am I going to handle that they like go to... I don't even know.
Don't tell us. Don't tell us. Okay, so that's it from me. My family all still has COVID. We've had to cancel my mum's 70th birthday party, which is tragic.
Oh, no.
I know. They're just not recovering quick enough. They got really sick with it. So I'm just glad they were all vaccinated because they've been so ill. I'm so glad my mum's vaccinated.
Yeah, thank God.
At her age, yeah, definitely. Because they've just been so poorly.
My mom got COVID before the vaccination. She got COVID really early on. And I was terrified because nobody really knew how it ended yet. And oh my God, I was terrified.
Yeah.
But she's okay. Your mom's okay. I hope she's recovering and
vaccinated up to their eyeballs, which is I'm glad.
Yeah. Boosted, vaccinated and boosted.
When you're reaching those ages, you got to get yourself boosted. Yeah. So that's the update on me, babe. That's kind of my story.
Love it.
Tell us about yourself. No, you've got something quite, good to talk about today. That's.
Yes, I do have some things to speak about, but we're going to save that for next episode because I have some things going on that I can't share yet. And so it's so hard for me to talk without sharing them that I'm just going to save them.
Okay.
But next week you will find out why I've been rather non-sharing the last 2 episodes.
And why the last 2 episodes have just been my daily schedule from my isolation and cottage and first day out of isolation in England. Very sorry to all the listeners who don't care about any of those things.
I do want to end on these fabulous questions.
Okay, we'll continue from the Hambledonian magazine, Freddie's Christmas Family Quiz. Okay, I asked you a question last time. Maybe I'll ask you a couple. So this is number 10.
Yes, let's ask the listeners and me. Okay.
Okay, here we go. What is traditionally hidden inside a Christmas pudding?
Ooh, don't tell me. Because I don't have this in America.
I know, it's a bit of a tricky one for you.
Is that the same as a figgy pudding?
I think so, yeah. I think it's the same. It's like the fruit pudding that's round, and then we put brandy on it, and we
All I
set
know
it
is
alight.
it's disgusting.
Oh, you don't like it? Okay. Yeah, it's definitely an acquired taste.
But let me see. Listen, if I had to guess what's hidden inside the Christmas pudding, I would say a ring.
Okay.
Or a penny.
Nailed it! It's a penny.
A penny?
Yeah.
That seems very unsanitary.
Oh, for God's sake, don't be so American about it.
So, like, somebody's eating and someone gets the penny in their mouth? Is that the thing?
Well, you probably see the penny first because you take small bites and you know that there's a penny in there, so you don't go chowing it down. Basically, if you make it at home, there's a penny. There's not going to be a penny in a store-bought one, so don't worry about it.
Give me another one.
Okay, this is good. I want to know the answer to this. Which city has been donating Trafalgar Square's Christmas tree to London every year since 1947?
Oh. I'd have no idea. I'm sure some of our English listeners know the answer to this.
I bet they do. Do you want to know?
What city? Yeah, tell me.
Oslo in Norway.
No way. Yeah. I thought it would be somewhere in England. No. Oh.
Love it.
Oslo, Norway donates the tree to Trafalgar Square. Well, I have seen the tree in Trafalgar Square, and it's always extraordinary. So that's very nice of you, Oslo.
Okay, we'll do one more and end with 3 Christmas questions.
Okay.
What is the best-selling Christmas single of all time?
Whoa. I would say Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas.
Bing Crosby, White Christmas.
Oh, Bing Crosby, White Christmas.
That actually gives me faith in the world that it's not Mariah Carey and that it's still Bing Crosby.
I know. I'm really happy to hear that.
So on that note, Lucy, let's end this episode.
Aww.
Our second... Wait, is this our second?
Yep, our second December episode. First was my birthday, and now this. And we are all just in the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody is just enjoy the holiday. You know what, people? Enjoy the damn holiday, okay? I know it's a stressful time. There's a lot of bullshit going on, but all the more reason for us to just dive into whatever makes you happy during the holidays and enjoy the hell out of it.
Very bossy from Lucy Walsh. Yeah, look, I'll show you this Christmas decoration I made.
You made that?
Because I was in isolation, so I ordered some crafts off Amazon. And I made this hot air balloon Christmas decoration with clouds. And it goes up and up and you hang it from the ceiling.
It's gorgeous, Annabel.
Thank you. I think it's very sweet.
We should have an audience contest, and then you can... Or a listener contest, and then you can send it to the winner.
Oh, okay. That sounds nice. Like a crafting competition. I'm going to write this in my notes. Crafting competition.
Yeah.
All right.
What can I give away that's something of
Well,
mine?
apparently nothing for the last 2 weeks. I guess we'll find out next week, for fuck's sake.
I know. I have some surprises to share with everybody next episode. Get ready. Get ready. I've been very mum. I'm not at liberty to share things, but it's coming. You have not been rambling about all your things. It's highly interesting to me. I'm living through you in your little English cottage, and I'm sure others are too. And we love getting your updates, and I love you. Get out in that sunshine and go for a walk and enjoy the funeral procession.
I love you too, babe.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart